Okay, testing. Hey guys, I'm Powered Up Mike and it's time for something new. That's right, doing a little live. Well, technically this is pre-recorded, but at my school I started my own little radio show with the radio club and, well, like I said in the description, I love having a little archive of everything I have and it's gaming related. I'm a gaming YouTuber, so yeah, please enjoy. And just a fair note that I wasn't able to record this directly from the online radio station when it first aired, but yeah, I was able to record on my phone another little copy, but it's the best I got. But I hope you enjoy, and as always, helpful feedback is always appreciated. So that's enough of my spiel, and let's begin.
Now that we got the intro out of the way, I might as well just start with the first game I'll be reviewing in this weekly or so series. And we're going back to 2011 when I first bought Super Mario 64 DS. Now, although for years I had known what a DS system was, it's like I just never happened to have one. And besides, after watching many videos on YouTube and stuff, I decided, yeah, this is a game I want to play. It looks like fun. And so that summer, I scraped together enough money to buy a DSi XL, even though looking back I should have just bought a 3DS early on, but that's besides the point. But playing Super Mario 64 DS for the first time, honestly, yeah, it was much easier than I thought it would be. And the thing is, they say that when you're a kid, it's like games are harder, or it's like games feel harder when you're a kid, and this was a game that I honestly felt was easy. Like, the controls are easy to comprehend, and it's like, you gotta remember, I never grew up with the original controls with the analog stick, and in fact, I never even played the original until years afterwards. But yeah, it just worked out for me. And now the thing is, this game was a launch title for the DS system, and that is one thing that kind of surprised me, because with the way the game was, looks visually and plays, I mean, it's a pretty well-made game, honestly. It's one of the best-looking DS games out there, but the sad part is, well, I don't think any other game really got close to being that visually impressive. What else is there, based on early impressions? I mean, of course, when you're a kid and when you get a game for the first time, you get addicted, you get hooked pretty easily, and yeah, once you start, you just can't stop. And now, another thing is, you gotta keep in mind that it was a great starting point in terms of DS games, like a first DS game, because Nintendo really thought it was a good idea to bundle the DSi XL with 2 Brain Age games and Photo Clock. It's like, oh no, it does have pack-in titles. I'm like, yeah, but come on, who actually wants to play Brain Age nowadays? It's like, the thing is, the music in that game is great, but nah. But anywho, it's like, now I was entering 3rd grade at the time, and the thing is, when you're a kid, you don't really have a lot of money to spend. Besides, it's like, what kid needs that much money anyway? But the thing is, within like a month or so, I've managed to 100% the game, all 150 stars, all rabbits, all mini games, and yeah. I mean, unless I wanted to fool around with the bundled-in software, it was all I had, honestly, in terms of my DS. And I finally experienced, for one of the first few times, the post-game blues, as I called it. It's when you finally 100% a game, but there's really nothing else to do. Well, everything else you've already seen before. And I mean, a lot of gamers nowadays love the open world, and, go back to places later, but when I was a kid, it's like, I preferred doing things in order, and I guess to this day with my games, I still prefer doing everything in order, but I just like to get things done in my games. And I guess this is where the first game, where I really wanted to, complete the games that I had. Although it wasn't until like 2 years ago until I got serious about 100%ing all the games I've played. But going back to, the general gameplay. I enjoyed going through the Bomb Battlefield. I enjoyed Bomb's Fortress. And it's like, some of the mini-games are actually pretty fun. I spent many half hours or whatever you want to call it playing that picture poker mini-game with Luigi in the casino. And no, I didn't get a gambling addiction, contrary to what memes would say. And another part is, it's like, the multiplayer. I didn't get to do the multiplayer that much, because it's like, well, I only had one DS in the house, and I didn't usually bring my DS outside of the house anyway, and yeah. But one of my favorite early memories of owning a DS was actually when I finally got to enjoy, multiplayer on the DS and finally learned how fun it was. It was with my 64 DS, me and a few neighborhood friends, during our neighborhood holiday party. We all linked up our systems together, and we played some of the multiplayer to Star Hunt, and I really enjoyed it. And for the longest while, when you buy a new game system, even back then you only got, one set of controllers. You didn't get multiplayer. You'd have to pay extra. But, playing multiplayer, it was, it made me appreciate, that style of gameplay even more. Thanks to, that mode. And another thing that I really enjoyed was, looking back, was, the flying, the Wing Mario controls. I always found that the original controls for Wing Mario were too sensitive, but, that's just me. I don't know how different my experience would have been if I played the original version on Virtual Console beforehand, but, who knows, honestly. And what else? Honestly, today was just, supposed to be the training day, and so hopefully my shows and talking will get better as time goes on, but what else is important to know? I was fortunate enough, maybe it was all for the best that I played it on a DSi XL, not a 3DS, because, well, the thing is, DS games on the 3DS, it's they're not usually looking the best, because it's they're a little stretch and it loses that pixel perfect quality. But of course, you can play the games in their original resolution, but, well, you gotta play with a smaller screen, and hey, my 9-year-old self loved that big screen of the DSi XL, and hey, a lot of DS games look good on that system. And that's the thing. Going back to, that pixely screen, it's I was reading a thing the other day about how game developers took advantage of it, and it's the games look better than they actually were, and I can say it's true. I thought, it's And going back to the soundtrack, it's the soundtrack was roughly the same as the original version from the N64, but, the bonus tracks, the casino theme and the Isle Delfino remix, that was good stuff, and I'm glad they finally, added a little bit more to it, and, well, it was a much-needed addition, in all honesty. It's the little things that make it work, And for some reason, I've never been really good at the final boss fight, but I managed to do it. It wasn't too hard, and of course, it was fun having the extra power-ups, and I really just loved how, it wasn't just the vanishing caps, it's each character had their own abilities, and that was a nice addition, but as I grew older, I was able to really appreciate the art of speedrunning with that game. In fact, on my YouTube channel back when I was 12 and a half, I Let's Played the game as my first Let's Play, and I was able to make it a lot easier since I was more comfortable with the game, and I was able to do a few speedrunning tactics, and yeah, it's a great starter game for a lot of things. Like, if you want to get into 3D platforming, especially Mario games, that's a good place to start. It's very beginner-friendly, and another thing is, it's just not really... It's not really that hard, as I said, not to be redundant. But it's just, there's just more things to do. There's more content, and it's what a remake should be. And now, another thing is, going back to when I Let's Played it for the first time, I purposely picked it in my first Let's Play because I knew it was an easy game, and I knew it wouldn't be too much hassle. Besides, it's like... It explains why in future games, it's like, when I would Let's Play games, I would only do, like, important parts sometimes. But other than that, I try to do everything. Or if I'll skip stuff, it'll just because it gets redundant. But there's nothing really redundant with, like, the stars. And another thing is, with the controls, I always found wall jumping to be easier in that game. And, it's, again, one of the smaller things that makes the game, better. It's, like, just easier controls in terms of wall jumping, and I know people like to bash the 8 directional movements instead of the 360 degrees, but I could kind of see that. But one thing that I personally enjoyed was the run button, and I mean like modern Mario games like 3D Land, 3D World, and I think Bowser's Fury too. It's like they have a run button, and I personally feel like I can make more precise movements, and I honestly found the controls to be less slippery overall. And of course, I know some characters are better than others in terms of like the running and jumping, but still. And looking back, it's just that, I was able to finally like really get good at platformers. Because, of course, at the time I played other games, like, I played 2D and 3D Mario beforehand, so this wasn't my first, but, hey, gave me a good entryway because I was finally able to get somewhere in terms of, gaining skills, if that's what you want to call it. And now, let's see. But, of course, one of the more crazy memories of the game was all the Waluigi rumors and... the 2D black box, Waluigi hidden in the game, the caps. But, yeah, if only my 9-year-old self knew better. But, part of the way that, you shape memories with the game growing up is the fact that, the playground rumors. There's just something special about it you don't see much nowadays. Well, at least I don't, because, yeah, there's no playground just when you're older. But, it was like that whole sense of childhood innocence and, imagination that you couldn't help but wonder. And besides, I don't think the internet game research was as, as sophisticated as it is now. I mean, this is 2011, so plenty of stuff was there. There were video walkthroughs. There were, like, online guides that were easy to follow. But, the whole imagination... like wondering what could be, or it's like if he is in the game or not. It's like, ooh, what if I try launching myself this way or that way? And it adds more replay value, and it helps curb the, the post-game blues, as I like to call it, but yeah. And the thing is, honestly, I've said just about everything I wanted to. I'm trying to think of other things. Again, a lot of this is just on the spot and improv, but hey, it's raw, blunt facts, even though it's kind of just rambling, and I hope you enjoyed the time.